your Muslim love the Jews?
Well, yeah, the Muslims love everybody.
Do they love the Jews?
Yeah, there's no
They
difference
don't
in
see the
people.
Jews as their enemies, infidels?
No.
Have you ever been taught that while growing up, that according to the Muslim religion, Christians and Jews are infidels?
No.
You love the Christian too?
Yes. Christians and Jews, even in the Quran, it doesn't tell you that. It only talks about specific people that was going against God. But as a whole, no.
So you were never taught that the Christians and Jews are infidels and worthy of death?
No.
So,
Because that doesn't go, it's not in the Testaments at all.
But I've read it in
Christians
the
and
Quran before that Christians and Jews are infidels and worthy of death, and that you can befriend them, you can lie. No, it's teaching that the Quran teaches that you can even lie.
No.
How do you feel about that?
No.
It said you can lie to them
No,
and deceive them.
I
read
understand. That. Yeah, I understand what you're saying about like, oh, the way that somebody may have translated to manipulate the words. But I'm grateful that my stepfather, right, he taught me how to read Arabic. He told me that people will always come and tell you stuff. He said, but you need to know this for yourself. Even in the Quran, it never mentions Christians and Jews.
It says Christians and Jews are infidels.
Watch this. It never mentions Christians and Jews. It says the helpers. In the Arabic text, it literally says Nasara. Nasara was the helpers of Christ, and the Yahud is the guided ones. It's come from a word Hadi. But when they translate things in English to come and maybe they have an agenda, people get confused and things are manipulated, and then there's a fight. Which is the reason why I was telling you from the beginning that I truly believe that all of these labels are there to divide us, which is the reason why when I come to talk to you, I'm like, hey man, I'm proud of you. I feel your good energy, because what you want to talk about is morality and you want to talk about decency. And I'm like, I'm with you, because under the veil of the label of a religion, people are doing everything to keep human beings apart, when the truth of the matter is we are all in this together.
So in your religion, the Muslim religion, do you see the Christian God and the Jewish God the same as the Allah God?
Yeah, it's all one God.
It's the same God.
It's the same God.
And so Christians are going to heaven?
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of Christians in heaven.
And the Jews too?
And there's going to be a lot of Jews.
Really?
In heaven, yeah.
Do they know you feel this way?
Yeah, I was there.
I dare you to go in the mosque and say this.
I said it, I mean, because sometimes they make me speak. So there's Quran that actually says there are families that the people who believe in one God, because it's not about these labels. He says the ones who believe in, people who believe in one God, who aspire to be good, who enjoy the good things and stay away from the bad stuff, the evil. This is morality, what we're talking about. All of you guys are families of the same scripture.
So
this is what it says.
So even though the Quran says Christians and Jews are infidels, worthy of death, you could befriend them, deceive them, lie to them, to get them, to entrap them. You're saying that when it was translated, whoever translated put that in there, but that wasn't.
I have never read that at all, even in the translation. I have never even read that in the translation.
And if it is in there, are you saying that's a mistranslation?
I would definitely say that, because I've read the Quran. I mean, we have to read the Quran every year. I've read the Quran, and I have never read like what you're saying. I have never read that, because it definitely contradicts. It contradicts all the other verses. It doesn't make sense. So it's almost like I was having this conversation with this guy who was like, "Oh, the Quran says you could beat your women, right?" And I was like, "No, it doesn't say that." And he was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, he pulled up this verse, right? And I was like, "Oh, I know this verse." And so I'm saying the Arabic verse, "Yadribuhunna." And so he was like, "Okay." And so I said, "Look at this." I had to show him, because I know he didn't know Arabic. The word "daraba," right, is in the same chapter once again, and guess what it's translated as?
What?
Leave and go abroad.
Oh, I see.
So I was like, and I said, now let me tell you a story. When Muhammad came, this isn't the story of Muhammad. Do you know what they were doing with women? They were burying their little girls alive as a custom, right? They was treating women as property. And so when Muhammad came and he made the announcement when he was anointed, if you will, and he says, these are the rules that God has given me, that women are free. Women are like, they're partners. They're not your subjects. They're not, women can't be buried, girls can't be buried alive. When he made all of that, it created a rift, and they were like trying to kill Muhammad because it went against the customs of the pagan Arabs.
So Muhammad is the guy that started this religion.
Muhammad is the guy that
way
came
back
with
when,
these
right?
rules.
So is it true that Muhammad used to have a whole bunch of wives, including little girls?
No, that's not true.
That's not true either?
No.
How do you know that's not true?
Well, how do you know it's not? Because neither one of us was there. But in what I was reading in the authentic text of the story of Muhammad, I was like, wow, the guy it didn't make sense.
So he wasn't a freak?
No, not from what I was reading.
Really?
And guess what?
But you heard that about him, right?
No, I heard those scandals.
Right.
So but I tend to do my own research.
Right.
And I've also been there. So what I do know is it's kind of hard for a freak or or a freak or what do you call them?
You had a lot of young girls.
Not just a freak or what do you call them? A pedophile, to gain a following of 1 million. Especially, it's more women Muslims than it is men. So something is missing there.
Right, but over in other countries, Muslim women don't have any rights. They have to dress head to toe. They can't drive. They can't. If they
you talk about Saudi Arabia.
If they're not a virgin, if they're not a virgin, you can't marry them, and all that stuff.
Well,
what's the difference between that Muslim religion and yours?
Well, what you're talking about has nothing to do with Muslim religion. What you're talking about has to do with different people's culture. So different people's culture and different backgrounds, and they may be Muslim, that's still living more culture than they are the rules of Islam. That's not even true, because the women have rights everywhere. I've been to Saudi Arabia. And if you went there, you'd be like, oh, wow, this is not at all what I heard, the scandals. I've been to Dubai. I've been to Muslim countries. I've been to Jordan. There's women without wearing hijab. There's women with hijab. They're just living like everybody else.
Are they allowed to drive and all that?
Well, I don't know about them driving in Saudi Arabia because I just heard all of that new stuff. And so maybe they lifted the laws. But I know the story of the driving. Now watch this. I know the scandal, but the story. The story was the king said women shouldn't drive because he was honoring women. And the fact that treating every woman like a celebrity, he was making them have a male driver to take them wherever they want to go. And somebody came later and used it in a chauvinistic way. But the base of it, of where it come from, it was something that he was doing as an honorable thing. And then another person came into, in charge or whatever, as we all see and happen.
Do other people know about this? I've never heard this before.
Yes, other people know about it. Other people know about it, but the problem is that's not getting the noise.
But I've interviewed a lot of Muslims of all, different races, and they don't seem to know about this.
Well, I don't know if they've been there, because I've been there.
No, they're from there.
I've been there several times.
But they're from there too. They just come over here to visit. They live over there.
Oh, well, who did you have? That's people. Interesting. I would like to talk to them too.
Look on my channel. You'll see them.
Okay.
So let me ask.
I'm glad I can bring something new, because I'm like, yeah, dude, this is amazing. But it's all history.
Do you, as a Muslim, do you support homosexuality?
I don't support the act.
Is it wrong?
I don't support the act of homosexuality, far as men and men are this here of they're having sexual relationships with each other.
How about women and women?
Or women and women.
Lesbians.
Right, or women and women. I believe in the order of life that God created life. In the scriptures, He says that He created a male, then He created a female as partners
But
to each
under
other.
your religion, is it considered evil?
I mean, just the same as in the Bible.
How about under your
believing
Muslim
in
religion?
it.
Is this considered?
It's just inside of the Quran. All it tells us is it doesn't say that it's evil. It says that you are doing something that God didn't order, that God didn't order to be happening.
But do they call it evil?
That's all they say. In the Quran, it doesn't call it evil.
Did they change that? Because it used to be in there that it was evil, and they would throw the homosexuals from the buildings.
That's not in the
top of the
Quran.
buildings.
I think what happens is, unfortunately,
you may be a Christian and think that you're Muslim.
well, you know what my mother
you don't
said?
seem to know any of those things.
You know what my mother said? My mother said when she became Muslim, she became such a better Christian, right? Because when you start researching and studying, it's too much propaganda and scandal. So what happens is you have to really do, and this is credit to my stepfather.
So are you saying that the Muslims accept homosexuality as a norm?
No, I'm not
Do
saying
they
that
see it
they
as an evil?
accept homosexuality as a norm, because they have to say exactly what God says, that
Right.
you're doing something that I didn't ordain. I didn't create this like this. I
Right.
created male for female and female for male as partnership. I didn't create male and male. So he told Lot, he says, go and remind them and offer here's how Muslims can't be homophobic, because he says, offer your daughters. This is in the Quran. Offer your daughters to them, to the males who were going after the males. So
But
in
they didn't want
Islam,
that.
I don't know where.
They just like offering a Muslim a pork sandwich,
But
a pig sandwich.
But
because
that's the point that I was making to you. For where the throwing off of the building, all of that scandal stuff, it's not in the
But
basis
that is true overseas. I know for sure.
No,
because
because if you go to Saudi Arabia, there's a lot
not just Saudi Arabia. They're throwing the homosexuals off the building everywhere.
But it has nothing to do with, they're maybe homophobic. It has nothing to do with a religion or what God said or what Muhammad said.
So
They'll be throwing them off the religion because of their own hate. We have to identify, the Quran tells us life is sacred.
So let me just, because of time, as a Muslim, do you see homosexuality as normal or abnormal?
It's abnormal. It's not natural. It wasn't the nature
not of God.
Right.
Okay.
It's not of God. That's of man.
And
That's
so,
a great way of putting it.
And so, if a Muslim was discovered to be a homosexual, what would happen to him?
Well, I mean, nothing. I mean, that's his.
Would they be rejected?
No, that's his. Those are his between him and his creator. Like, there's nobody here governing what you do with your sex life or who you choose to be with.
Could a Muslim bring his homosexual lover to church?
I don't believe
to the mosque.
Yeah, no, I don't believe that he would do that. Like, as this is my lover, but I mean, and then make it public. Like, I also believe that there's a respect factor. If this was God's ordinance, and then as a human being, you choose to do your thing, that's your right.
As a Muslim,
right, but you don't have to.
As a Muslim, is homosexuality evil?
No, I can't say that homosexuality is evil because the Quran doesn't tell us that it's evil, but it's definitely not of God.
Is it wrong?
Yeah, it's wrong. It's not.
How about abortion? Do you support abortion?
Abortion. Yeah, we've been taught do not kill children on the fear of sustenance, or don't take life. The whole thing is about life. Don't do that.